I mean, yeah, that's essentially what it is. That's why I mean, shit. When you were saying nationality is always the order of the day, I'm like, yeah, we can go in on that because it's like essentially what is that saying? Know thyself. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then once you know thyself, well, that would then you would know your power basically when you know yourself.
Exactly.
And then you would know your status, you know, as it relates to everything else. And so the first law, I mean, like Genesis, you know what I mean? In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, you know, or Elohim, you know, and
Yeah.
they said, let us make man in our image and in our likeness. So I
Right.
mean, and then you know what I mean, it was like I think it was the let there be light before that too, you know, and all that. But
Yeah.
I'm literally breaking down creation, you know. And so it's like that having that knowledge and then applying it, you know, is wisdom. I feel like the essentially keeping the records is the wisdom. That is what you know, applying
Yeah.
that knowledge.
So Noble Drew Ali talks about the triune Allah, and the first one is wisdom.
Yeah,
Wisdom, will, and love, right?
wisdom, will,
So
and
wisdom, will, and love. So you know, when you look at it, so you know, let there be light, you got that, you know what I'm saying? So you know, in John 1:1, where it talks about in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, or the word was God. In the New Testament, it talks about wisdom being light.
right. Mm. Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Wisdom and light are synonymous.
Right, right. I mean, if you think about health, you know, the like the cells are electric, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, they say health is wealth, you know.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But
And
yeah, but yeah.
you say what?
No, I was just gonna get on the nationality piece since you brought it
Oh
up,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
But you know, so nationality can legally be described as the quality of character which arises from the fact of one belonging to a nation or a state.
Right. So that was you gonna
No, go
build on?
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So a nation of a state basically like has, you know, customs and beliefs and things like
Right.
that. So certain uh ways that they do things, essentially, right?
Yeah. So if you belong to the United States,
Mm. Right.
you know, belonging to a nation or a state. So if you belong to the
A
United,
fictional entity.
right, then what are
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
Right.
And what are their customs? Their
Right.
customs are to call you out your name,
Right.
Negro,
Right. Right.
Black,
Right.
or colored. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or African American.
Right.
That's
Right.
their custom. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you know, when these messengers say things like, and big ups to the 13th son, big ups to 13 Love, you know what I'm saying?
So
When you
13
hit
love.
13 Love, but when you talk about these messengers talking about come out of her,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You have to come out of that status, that dead status.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like the quality of character which arises from the fact of one belonging to a nation or a state. So if you don't belong to your own nation or your own state or the nations or state of your ancestors, you know what I'm saying, then you're stateless or you belong to somebody else.
Right.
And that's not the way to be. And when you're stateless and when you belong to somebody else, and when you drive around with driver's licenses or whatever, and they pull you up in the computer and you Negro, Black, and colored, and you ain't got no, your head, you ain't got no turban or no feathers on your head, and your name is still whatever it is, you have no paperwork in your car, you have nothing to substantiate that you're something besides a Negro, black, or colored, then you're subject to all the abuses that the citizens care to bestow upon you.
Right. Yeah. And if you calling yourself something that somebody else gave you, then yeah, that's basically what you get. That's huh?
Adam named all the animals, man. He had dominion over them. So if somebody names you, to have dominion over you.
Right. So then how do you nationalize? That's like, that's the question. I know. I would say
Yeah. So you just have to proclaim it.
Right. You
know what I'm
declare
saying?
proclaim, putting it on
how do you
paper.
do that? Yeah, proclaim or declare.
And you
know what I'm
notify.
saying?
Right.
So however you want to do that. So there's and look, and you'll hear some more go back and forth about this and have disagreements about it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this is the thing, do something. So, whether you go to a court and do your and put Bay or whatever at the end of your name, you know what I'm saying? Whether you go to the court, to the county, where they file their records and you put it on the record, you do something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whether you send your local government a document and you keep that that certified number of how you mailed it, whether you put it in the newspaper and you keep the copy of that, what you put in the newspaper, anything,
right.
it must be substantiated in some form or fashion. You know what I'm saying?
So essentially, you saying that to nationalize, you basically declaring who you are for yourself, and you letting the public know it. So whatever way you let the public know it, by mailing it in to different local government offices or, filing it, in the county public record. But so the name. So would you say the name change itself is that, or also putting on the record that this is who you are, other than just like doing a name change?
So there are so if you look at Resolution 75 out of Philadelphia, they talk about the names and titles that were used by the Moorish Americans. So they know what the titles are. However, right. I would say, what I'm saying, I've done it all, what I'm saying? So I would say throw some law. I would say you got to throw some law in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not only about that, but it's how you live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the five high. Go ahead.
Now, so to really simplify it, when you national, well, I know you was about to get to a point with it, but it's really simplified, like you recognizing your indigenous status, you affixing that to the ending of your title, your name, so-called name, and you putting these entities on record, on notice or whatever.
Right.
So and then you just said based on how you live too. So it's like your vibration.
Yes.
So like to really simplify it, then it's like it's like you doing what you're not really worrying about if anybody else is accepting it or not. You living how you living with it. You just notifying them what it is, essentially. And your vibration is what you putting that on record, is you putting it into the ethers, and that's what that's the vibe. That's the what you gonna vibrate at with it. And so now there's no way that nobody can say that you're not that. But then again, you wouldn't have to dodge those bullets anyway. You know what I mean? Because it's already out there protecting you. You got it like it's a shield.
Yeah.
Essentially, what I would say it is.
Yeah. So Noble Drew Ali, he was in the Divine Warning. He said, if Italians, Greeks, Arabians, he names all these nationalities. He said, if they are forced to proclaim their nationality before the constitutional government, then it's only right that we have to do the same. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, we're using names that are unconstitutional. So
Right.
people, you know, people don't really understand what the Constitution really is. It's what'd you say?
A contract, a trust. I mean, it
Right.
secures property. It secures your rights. You know what I mean? So
right.
yeah.
Yes, and it is a contract or covenant or whatever, but is between different states. You know what I'm saying? It's but not necessarily the 13 colony states that, you know what I'm saying, you know, that I mean, that's a part of it too. But you know, so the Constitution, it recognizes, it's also like a treaty. You know what I'm saying? It recognizes other treaties. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like you said, yeah, it secures your rights. It recognizes other treaties. It's a treaty amongst nations. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
right.
And different nations, yeah, different nations set up the states. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't all the pale-skinned nations of Europe that came and set up the states. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Georgia was named after King George. You know what I'm saying? You know, you look at the Carolinas. You look at Charlotte.
Yes,
you know,
Queen. Yes.
Right. The Moorish Queen Charlotte, Mecklenburg, and Charlotte is in Mecklenburg County.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Yeah. And it's a picture, and my folks, man, are from the Carolinas, man, and it's a picture of Charlotte going around that looks just like my mama.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So, man, wow. I mean, it's just about knowing who you are. Like you said, knowledge of self, knowing who you are. You know what I'm saying, man? Shoot, we have the blood of the Moabites, Israelites, Canaanites. We have, man, Americans. You know what I'm saying? The copper, and I'm not talking about who today is called an American. I'm talking about the copper-colored peoples that was here when the Europeans got here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I mean, looking at it like right now, what's going on, is essentially yo knowing yourself protects you from the shit that's going on right now. And I mean, really, yeah, like it's essential. I feel like right now is the time to really like have that clear. You know what I mean?
It is, because you're talking about getting your vibrations high.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Knowing who you are it automatically raises your vibration.
Right. Because
you know
if you don't, it's like you just dangling, like just wandering, like
right. Yeah, correcting your status raises your vibrations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. I mean, you correcting how you vibrate.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, I feel like it's really, like raising yourself, and then, you building with other people that's doing the same thing. You know what I mean? But man, it's just like, whew, yeah. Right now, these trying times, for real.
Yeah, it is.